Yo, what's good? It's your boy Mike, back with another wild video on Mike Reacts. Today we're diving into something straight up insane. A 25-minute video about the Sean Diddy Combs case that's blowing up right now. We're talking about allegations of sex trafficking, secret networks, disappearing witnesses, and comparisons to the Epstein scandal. This thing is packed with twists, celebrity names, and some seriously dark claims. I'm about to react, so buckle up, because this is going to be a roller coaster. If you're new here, smash that subscribe button, hit the bell, and let's get into it. What's Diddy caught up in? And is there a bigger puppet master behind it all? Let's find out together. Before we start, drop in the comments. Have you been following the Diddy trial? What's the craziest thing you've heard so far? Let's go.
I've had conversations with people about it, and it's like, Jesus, like just trying to get the documents, like when they're trying to get the Epstein files, like they're the state of New York. One of the district attorneys was they were hiding documents that have forced them to get documents. I think there's so many powerful people that are on those lists. There's so many powerful people that went and partied. Air quotes, partied. And how many of them went to the Diddy party? Have you been paying attention to the trial?
Oh, yeah.
Trials. Wild.
With Jelaine, with Epstein, with Diddy. Either Diddy's gonna commit suicide, either he's going to be hiding somewhere that we won't hear about for many, many years, or he's gonna be O.J. Simpson, and he'll be released and said, I told you I was as innocent. I told you nothing happened. I told you I was this. Or he's gonna go to jail and spend the rest of his life in jail. Not likely, because he has access to a lot of information on a lot of people that make a lot of money for people in Hollywood. Do they want those people to be gone? I don't know.
The case surrounding Sean Diddy Combs is unraveling rapidly, and with each passing day, shocking new revelations and high-profile names, including Cassie Ventura, are being pulled into the spotlight. What began as a lawsuit from Cassie has cracked open a deeper, darker narrative. It's no longer just about personal misconduct. It's starting to resemble a web of control, manipulation, and secrecy so vast that many are now comparing it to the infamous Epstein scandal.
Is not just about sex trafficking one victim, and it's just about more than sex trafficking. The RICO, feds are accusing him of multiple acts of kidnapping, arson, witness tampering, bribery, forced labor, intent to distribute narcotics, and more.
Diddy's case has been making headlines for months, but now it's taking...
All right. Let's hit pause for a second. Wow. This is really heavy. The transcript just dropped a bombshell comparing Diddy's case to Jeffrey Epstein's. And I'm like, hold up. That's a huge claim. They're talking about sex trafficking, kidnapping, arson, witness tampering, bribery, forced labor, and narcotics distribution. Basically a laundry list of serious crimes. It's wild to think this could be bigger than just one person, right? Like, are we looking at a whole network here? The Epstein vibe is creepy because we all know how that case left so many questions unanswered. What do you think? Could Diddy really be tied to something this massive? Or is this comparison a stretch? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Have you been following the Diddy trial? Do you think the Epstein comparison holds up? Let me know below.
taking a sharp turn into something much darker and far more sinister. The deeper the investigation goes, the more it feels like Diddy wasn't acting alone. Whispers of a hidden network, much like the one behind Epstein, are growing louder. People are beginning to wonder, is there a powerful lobby protecting him from the shadows? Will they pull the strings to make it all disappear, or will they turn on him the moment he becomes a threat? The stakes are higher than ever, and the conspiracy runs deep. And now, the story takes an even more chilling turn. Patrick Bet David, PBD, has raised eyebrows by pointing out something that many find too strange to be a coincidence. The lead prosecutor on Diddy's case is none other than the daughter of former FBI chief James Comey, a man recently in the spotlight for what some believe was a veiled reference to the killing of Donald Trump. Adding fuel to the fire, the previous prosecutor, Damian Williams, mysteriously stepped down from the case, with whispers suggesting he was quietly pushed out. The question now is, why, and who really stands to gain? The deeper you look, the clearer it gets. This isn't just about Diddy anymore.
There's way too many things that are coming out right now, especially when you think about the lead prosecutor. It was supposed to be Damian Williams, who he resigns December of 2024. He says, no, I'm not going to be dealing with this case on Epstein. And he's been on the Epstein, on Diddy, and he's been on the lead prosecutor for Epstein, Ghislaine Maxwell, and a lot of other things. And then the person that replaces the lead prosecutor to prosecute Diddy is Maureen Comey. Maureen Comey is the daughter of James Comey. James Comey, just a week ago, posted 8647. He found these beautiful shells, you know, seashells that says 86 accidentally. Of course, he would never do such a thing. And he posts these 8647 shells, and then his daughter is the lead prosecutor for Diddy. And Diddy has all this information to other people.
PBD took it a step further, raising a question that's now echoing across the internet. Could the Diageo connection be the very protection that shielded Diddy for nearly 2 decades? He's been allegedly involved in these dark activities for over 17 years, yet not a single major case stuck until now. Why? PBD suggests that maybe Diddy wasn't just lucky. Maybe he was protected.
Diddy sues Diageo. Diddy filed a lawsuit accusing Diageo of neglecting the De Leon brand, racial discrimination, claiming they marketed it as an urban product and failed to treat him as a true business partner. Then in January 2024, they settled out of court. Diageo and Diego settled the dispute out of court. While details still remain sealed, the settlement marked the end of their business relationship. So this is from 2007 till 2024, 17 years. Could they have protected him? I don't know. Their CEO currently today is Deborah Ann Crew. She was a former intelligence officer in the military. Once intelligence officer, forever you're an intelligence officer. Who knows what happened? We don't know the relationship. We're not going to make any accusations. All we know is, could this have been a protection?
And once that protection, possibly tied to his powerful business ties with Diageo, was stripped away after the lawsuit and quiet settlement, the floodgates opened. Just 2 months after that confidential deal, Diddy's home was raided. The timing is too perfect. Was Diageo the silent shield all along? And once it dropped, did the powers that be decided it was finally open season on Diddy?
Where they were at the parties and they knew things that were taking place and are like, wait, what do you want to do to us? No problem. Boom, drop the bomb. I don't know. All I'm saying is the timing is kind of strange. Maybe even they wanted to kind of be like, look, we know what's about to be dropped on this guy. We want to have nothing to do with you. We're out. Here's some money. You stay quiet. We'll pay you, but we want to get out of here. The only thing at the time is kind of crazy is January 2024, they settled. 2 months later, remember what we're sitting there doing and minding our own business? And you hear, March of 2024, the feds are raiding Diddy's Miami home and his LA home. For what?
Even Joe Rogan couldn't stay silent on the matter.
Oh. Okay. I need to pause this because my jaw is on the floor. They're saying Diddy might have been protected by some big players, maybe even Diageo, for 17 years. And then boom, 2 months after they settled their lawsuit in January 2024, his home gets raided in March. That timing is way too convenient, don't you think? And now we got Maureen Comey, the daughter of former FBI chief James Comey, as the lead prosecutor. That's raising all kinds of red flags. Is this a coincidence or is there some deeper connection here? I'm not saying it's a conspiracy, but it's got me thinking. Who's really pulling the strings? What do you all make of this Diageo and Comey stuff? Hit the comments. Do you think the Diageo settlement and the raids are connected? And what's up with the Comey link? Let's talk about it.
On his podcast, he echoed the growing suspicion that higher powers might be pulling the strings behind the scenes. Rogan drew a chilling parallel to the Epstein case, reminding listeners how even district attorneys were caught hiding key documents to protect the powerful.
I've had conversations with people about it, and it's like, Jesus, like just trying to get the documents, like when they're trying to get the Epstein files, like they're the state of New York. One of the district attorneys was hiding documents that have forced them to get documents. I think there's so many fucking powerful people that are on those lists. There's so many powerful people that went and partied.
He suggested that something similar could be happening here, that Diddy's infamous parties may have been more than just celebrity hangouts. According to Rogan, There's a strong chance that some very influential people were regulars at those parties. And now, with the trial heating up, the fear isn't just about Diddy going down. It's about who else might get exposed along the way.
Air quotes, party. And how many of them went to the Diddy parties? Have you been paying attention to the trial?
Oh, yeah.
Trials. Wild.
Joe Rogan didn't hold back. He speculated that Diddy could very well end up rotting in jail for the rest of his life if things keep swirling the way they are. But then came the twist. Rogan and his guest also warned that this case might follow the same eerie pattern as the Epstein saga. Despite explosive allegations of child trafficking and elite involvement, Epstein's trial never truly delivered justice. No major players were ever held accountable. Rogan questioned whether Diddy's case is heading down that same road. Big headlines, shocking claims, and then silence.
Well, Diddy's going to be in jail for the rest of his life. I think he's probably going to get
Think he's
hit up.
insane, though?
I don't know. I don't even think it matters. I mean, it's a lot of it is.
But then it's just another
There's-
Epstein.
there's
It's
murder
another
ca-
Ghislaine Maxwell, where
there's
somebody gets
murder
indicted and
cases.
nobody else. Indicted for trafficking kids to
right
no
to,
one.
to no one.
Joe even raised the possibility that Diddy might not have been the mastermind behind it all. He questioned how one man alone could come up with such an elaborate system, getting celebrities drugged, throwing these wild parties, and orchestrating what some have described as freak-offs. Rogan suggested there's no way Diddy did this entirely on his own. The scale, the access, the secrecy, it all points to something bigger. Maybe Diddy wasn't just the ringleader. Maybe he was working with someone else, or worse.
Crazy. Now, if that's not an intelligence agency operation, it's just an evil super genius who figures out how to compromise everybody by providing this crazy freak-off party. Everybody's got to put their phones away. Okay, we're going to put our phone away. No one's going to know anything. Yeah, I mean, he's got cameras everywhere. It's just one guy doing that. What a diabolical human being.
Yeah.
He seems pretty diabolical.
He's probably working with somebody. Or for somebody.
Maybe.
And maybe he just got too far out there.
Some of it came out in the trial, though, like he's forcing his girlfriend to have sex with prostitutes while he was sitting there jacking off with a bandana on. She'd rub the jizz on his nipples. Like, what are we even talking about?
Maybe he was working for someone else. Joe Rogan took it to an even darker level, suggesting that these parties might have been more than just wild celebrity gatherings. He floated the idea that this could have been a calculated system of control. Get these celebrities into a room, introduce them to the chaos, tell them, look, even Bill Clinton's been here. Normalize the madness, and then slowly push them past the line with drugs, pressure, and influence. Once they're compromised, get it all on tape. Use that footage as leverage. According to Rogan, this wasn't just Diddy's playground. It may have been a setup designed to own people, to make sure they could be controlled forever.
That's a good question. Well, it would be a
he had the
great
juice
way
on
to
lot of
compromise celebrities. Yeah. And get them to say whatever you want them to do, get them to do whatever projects you'd like them to do. And, you know, if you're a bunch of other celebrities are there, you're like, oh, look, Bill Clinton's here. This is fine. Yeah. This is cool. Look at this. Like, Brad Pitt's here. Well, this is cool. You don't even think there's anything wrong with being there. Meanwhile, you're getting drugged up and filmed. And then they're passing out punch. Have some punch, Aaron. And you have some punch, and all of a sudden you're like, I'm feeling really good. I just feel amazing. You're all mollied up. You don't know what the fuck you're doing. Probably a combination of things they give you.
And it's all being filmed.
Even though several celebrities have hinted that there's someone or something far more powerful pulling the strings behind Diddy, the details emerging from the trial itself are deeply disturbing on their own. One witness, a man who identified himself as a sex worker, took the stand and delivered a shocking testimony. He claimed he had been hired multiple times by Sean Diddy Combs, but what he described went far beyond anything anyone expected. According to his account, he was repeatedly instructed to have sex with Diddy's then-girlfriend, Cassie Ventura, while Diddy watched from the shadows. The courtroom was stunned.
Also heard from a man who described himself as managing a male review show from 2012 to 2013, says his boss called him to go to a hotel in Manhattan where he met Cassie Ventura at the door. He says she was dressed in a red wig, red lingerie, and essentially gave him $4,000 with the intent that he was going to have sex with her. her. He also noted that Sean Combs, he said that first encounter was off to the side and watched Cassie Ventura and this male review show manager have sex and masturbated as it was happening.
The witness went on to describe how these encounters weren't brief or isolated. They would last anywhere from an hour to as long as 10 hours. What made it even more disturbing was the claim that Diddy often recorded the acts himself, using either his phone or a camcorder. These weren't just private obsessions. They were documented. The revelation sent shockwaves through the courtroom, leaving even seasoned legal professionals visibly shaken.
He talked about several instances where he would have Cassie Ventura and that Sean Combs would be off in the corner watching. He said sometimes these meetings would last anywhere from an hour to 10 hours, and even said that Sean Combs recorded some of this on his cell phone or a camcorder. The beginning of opening statements, though, really focused on what this case is about, according to the prosecution, which is sex trafficking and racketeering, saying that Sean Combs led a criminal enterprise so that he could partake in sexual acts with people based on coercion and bribery, kidnapping, etc.
Amidst all the intense back and forth in court, new names suddenly entered the spotlight.
Que sí, que la inteligencia artificial es importante y que sí, que también hay que usarla, pero hacerle 4 preguntitas tontas al ChatGPT.
Names that added a fresh.
Yo. We're pausing again because this just got wild. Joe Rogan's out here saying Diddy's parties might have been a setup to compromise celebrities with drugs, cameras, and who knows what else. The way he describes these freak-offs, like, what even is that? It sounds like something out of a movie, but it's real life. And Rogan's not buying that Diddy did it all alone. He's hinting at a bigger system, maybe even an intelligence operation. That's some next level scary shit. Do you think these parties were just Diddy being Diddy? Or could there really be some mastermind behind it all? I'm shook. Let me know what you're thinking in the comments. What's your take on these freak-off parties? Could Diddy have been working with someone bigger, like Rogan suggesting? Drop your theories in the comments. Let's keep watching this video together.
Fresh and unexpected twist to an already tangled web. The defense introduced Kid Cudi and Michael B. Jordan into the conversation, implying that Cassie may have shared some kind of personal connection or relationship with them. This, they argued, may have ignited deep jealousy in Diddy, further fueling the chaos behind the scenes.
Yesterday, Andy, about other celebrities and if other names were going to be brought into this. Well, yeah, we heard today about Kid Cudi and jealousy issues with Kid Cudi and Cassie being together and hooking up. We heard about Michael B. Jordan and Cassie possibly having a relationship that angered Diddy. So, again, there was these themes of distrust and of cheating in the relationship that seemed to go both ways.
Then the defense took things a step further, doubling down on the claim that Cassie had been unfaithful, specifically with Kid Cudi. They zeroed in on one particular freak-off session, calling it a critical turning point in the entire story. According to their narrative, it was during this encounter that Diddy allegedly discovered Cassie's intimate involvement with Kid Cudi. The moment, they argued, shattered whatever illusion of control Diddy thought he had. Fueled by betrayal and jealousy, the defense claimed Diddy snapped, triggering a heated confrontation that quickly spiraled into a violent altercation between him and Cassie.
Another point that's been important is this relationship with a man by the name of Kid Cudi, in which Cassie, according to the testimony, was taking part in one of these freak-offs when Sean Combs found out that she was, quote-unquote, cheating on him with this man you're looking at right here, Kid Cudi. She was in one of those freak-offs, and then Sean got a hold of her phone and then realized that they had been having a relationship together, and she said that that did not go over very well, to say the least. So one of the other things that defense counsel has been saying back and forth with Cassie, when Cassie is responding with things like, I can't recall, it's a long time ago, at one point defense counsel said, yeah, it was a long time ago, and it sounds like you were doing a lot of drugs.
David James, Sean Diddy Combs' former assistant, also took the stand, and his testimony left the courtroom in stunned silence. Visibly emotional, David peeled back the curtain on what life was really like behind the scenes, working for one of the biggest names in the industry. He recalled that on his very first day, HR didn't sugarcoat anything. They told him bluntly, This is Diddy's kingdom. We're all here to serve him. That chilling statement wasn't just a warning. It was the rule of law in Diddy's world. From that moment on, David said, he understood exactly what kind of environment he had stepped into, and it only got darker from there.
Now, we also heard today from a personal assistant to Combs who became emotional on the witness stand when he testified about his interview at Bad Boy Records to become his personal assistant.
David went on to reveal a deeply disturbing dynamic of control, manipulation, and fear. He recounted moments when he quietly pulled Cassie aside, trying to convince her to walk away from the toxic world she was stuck in, but she couldn't. According to David,
Así que quieres aprender inglés. Aquí tienes 3 mitos que son completamente falsos. 1, debes hablar mucho.
Diddy had his grip on every aspect of her life, her career, her money, even the home she lived in. It wasn't just emotional manipulation, it was total domination. Cassie, he said, wasn't just in a bad relationship. She was trapped in a system where escape felt impossible.
He also testified about an exchange he had with Ventura in which he talked to her about leaving this chaotic, crazy lifestyle, and Ventura told...
Okay. I'm pausing because this testimony is absolutely wild. A sex worker just said Diddy was watching and recording these encounters with Cassie, sometimes for hours. That's disturbing on so many levels. And now they're bringing Kid Cudi and Michael B. Jordan into this, saying Cassie's relationship with them might have set Diddy off. This is starting to feel like a soap opera, but it's real people's lives. It's crazy how these big names keep popping up. Do you think this jealousy angle is legit? Or is the defense just trying to muddy the waters? How do you feel about these recordings? Let's unpack this in the comments. What do you make of the sex worker's testimony? And why do you think the defense is bringing up Kid Cudi and Michael B. Jordan? Let's hear it.
Told him, James testified, that she couldn't leave because Combs was in charge of her career and her money and her apartment, and so she couldn't leave. He'll be back on the witness stand tomorrow. It was interesting, when he was leaving the courtroom, he looked over at Combs, he nodded at him, and Combs nodded back toward him. But his testimony clearly not helpful for Combs' defense. Casey?
Dawn Richards, a former member of one of Diddy's bands, came forward with a chilling allegation that shook the courtroom to its core. Taking the stand, she recalled a moment that's haunted her for years. According to Dawn, while they were all at the house, Diddy approached her directly. His tone serious, his message unmistakable. He warned her not to say a word about what he was doing to Cassie. Then came the threat. Dawn claimed Diddy told her flat out that people who go against him go missing.
Dawn is testifying that exactly what she talked about in her civil suit, in addition to some other things, that they were in a house in LA in 2009. Diddy beat Cassie because Cassie wasn't finished allegedly making his food on time. And the next day he came in the room to talk to her and her band member, and he basically told them, alleges that he told them, don't say anything. What y'all saw up there was passion, and when people say stuff about things like this about me, they end up missing. That is what Dawn is alleging. So the government is like, this is definitely relevant because it'll show that, number one, he was conscious of guilt, conscious of what we're trying to prove, is that he knows what he's doing, but he allegedly makes people feel scared so that they will just continue to let him do what he wants to do.
Dawn Richards' chilling claim that Diddy warned her people who go against him go missing now carries an even more unsettling weight because it may have just come true. Investigative journalist Ian Carroll recently reported a deeply troubling development that has cast a dark, ominous shadow over the entire case. The third alleged victim, a woman who had voluntarily come forward to testify against Diddy, has mysteriously vanished without a trace. Her identity had been kept confidential for her protection, but now, according to Carroll, she's simply gone. No contact, no updates, no sign of her anywhere. The timing is terrifying.
But then it turned out that victim 3, unknown, we don't know who it is, but victim 3 apparently is missing. Just a few weeks ago, victim 3 came forward, or didn't come forward, but said that they were willing to testify in the trial. And though we don't know who it is, it obviously was important to the case because they were going to put victim 3 on the stand. And then just before this all came together and before Diddy took the stand, victim 3 apparently was out of communication, and we do not know where they are. My thought immediately went to the girl Allie that is sharing all the salacious stuff. I went and looked her up, and she's still posting on TikTok. It's not her. So I don't know what to make of it. I don't know who victim 3 is. I'm sure we can all come up with some crazy conspiracy theories about what's going on there. Diddy's side is hoping for a mistrial just because they don't have one of their witnesses. That is extremely unlikely, but it is possibly going to cause some delays, and it might actually impact the ability to prosecute Diddy. I presume that Diddy is pulling out all the stops, as we've heard reportings of private investigators looking into people and people being pressured or influenced by his family members.
Adding even more fuel to the already blazing fire, Big Homie, a former associate who once worked closely with Diddy, has stepped into the spotlight with explosive claims of his own. In a recent interview, he didn't hold back. Big Homie alleged that Diddy has a long history of making people disappear and warned the public that what we're seeing now is just the surface, the beginning of something far more sinister. He revealed that one individual who had reportedly come forward with crucial evidence has now mysteriously vanished. No trace, no answers. This, he said, mirrors the very warnings Dawn Richards gave when she spoke of threats and disappearances. Big Homie was clear and direct. He believes strange things are going to keep happening inside and outside the courtroom. And with a tone that sent chills down listeners' spines, he added, things have already started.
Whenever these trials come about, the closer you get to the trial date, a lot of things start happening to remove people from the case that are going to strengthen the case for the prosecution. And I feel like we're watching that take place now. With one of the male sex worker guys who provided tapes to the feds. He's disappeared. And this is similar to what happened in the Tory Lanez case, where the bodyguard whose DNA was on the weapon, he disappeared. So I expect to see a lot of strange things take place. I expect to see the defense team do a lot of steps to lighten the image of Combs. And we've been watching that take place.
Reflecting on the case, Big Homie didn't hold back. Speaking with a tone heavy with disappointment and gravity, he laid it all out, saying that when a man like Diddy...
¿Usted está buscando cómo emigrar legalmente a los Estados Unidos? Quédese atento por...
With fame, fortune, and influence becomes addicted, whether to drugs, power, or his darkest fantasies, he doesn't just lose control, he loses himself. Big Homie didn't sugarcoat what he believes Diddy has become. He described the alleged actions not as mere mistakes or fleeting lapses in judgment, but as signs of something far more twisted and dangerous. He is evil, Big Homie said plainly. His behavior is egregious, and with that, the image of the music mogul many once idolized shattered even further.
You see a gentleman like this from affluence and power, whenever they have an addiction to MDMA or the drug ecstasy, they call it the love drug. So he's been doing this drug for over 20 years. So that's going to lead his view skewed when it comes to sexual activity. I believe it's helped turn him into a sexual deviant. And, you know, what type of man wants to see another man urinate in his wife's mouth? I feel like it's evil. I think his behavior is egregious. And, you know, I have a history of using very heinous acts on people like this who participate in this type of lascivious acts.
All of this points to a haunting possibility that Diddy wasn't acting alone. Behind the scenes, there may be someone far more powerful, someone who didn't just witness or enjoy the twisted empire Diddy built, but helped shape it. And more chillingly, they may still be working to protect him. This isn't just about loyalty. It's about influence at a level most people can't even imagine. The kind of power that can silence witnesses, sway narratives, and turn anyone against anyone, all to keep their own name buried deep in the shadows. The real puppet master, it seems, might still be out there, watching, maneuvering, and making sure the spotlight never lands on them. As this explosive case unfolds, one thing is becoming disturbingly clear. Sean Diddy Combs may not have been the mastermind pulling all the strings. On the surface, it looks like he was acting alone, building a twisted empire fueled by wealth, ego, and unchecked power. But when you connect the dots, disappearing witnesses, sealed settlements, elite connections, and eerie parallels to the Epstein case, a much darker picture begins to form. Just like Epstein, Diddy's rise and protection seem almost too calculated, too well insulated to be the work of one man. The same whispers that followed Epstein now echo through Diddy's trial, powerful names hidden behind NDAs, legal shields, and sudden silences. If history has taught us anything, it's that predators with influence rarely work alone. They're often supported, funded, and protected by a shadowy network. People with something to gain, something to lose, and everything to hide. So while Diddy stands in the spotlight, absorbing the public outrage. We have to ask the harder question. Who's still operating in the dark? Who helped build this system? Who's making sure the worst truths never reach the light? Because if this case ends the same way Epstein's did, unfinished, unresolved, with key figures untouched, it won't just be a failure of justice. It will be confirmation that some people are too powerful to fall and some secrets too dangerous to expose. This isn't just about Diddy anymore. It's about the machine behind him, the same machine that once kept Epstein safe until it did.
Hold up. We're at the end, and I'm freaking out. A witness who was supposed to testify against Diddy just vanished, and now this guy, big homie, is saying people who crossed Diddy disappeared, just like Don Richards warned. That's straight up chilling. This whole thing feels like it's bigger than Diddy, like there's a whole machine keeping things quiet. This video keeps circling back to this idea of a network like Epstein's, where powerful people stay untouchable. Do you think we're going to get the full truth, or is this going to end up like Epstein's case with no real answers? I need your thoughts in the comments because this is too much. Do you believe a witness really disappeared? Is Diddy the mastermind or just a piece of a bigger puzzle? Drop your take below.
Didn't. And if we don't keep watching, questioning, and demanding answers, it will keep protecting monsters while letting victims disappear into silence. But now we turn the question to you. Do you really believe Diddy orchestrated all of this on his own? Or is there someone else lurking behind the scenes, more powerful and more protected than we can imagine? Could this be yet another Epstein-level cover-up, where one man takes the fall while the real puppet masters stay hidden in the shadows? The signs are all there. The disappearances, the threats, the power plays. So what do you think? Is Diddy the true mastermind, or just the face of something much darker? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. And stay alert, because this story is far from over.
Whoa. That was a wild ride. This video, which seems to be AI generated, is packed with some seriously intense claims about the Diddy case, drawing parallels to Epstein and hinting at a massive cover-up with disappearing witnesses and elite connections. Is gripping, no doubt, but we've got to be careful here. The video mixes verified trial details like Cassie's testimony and the freak-off allegations with some pretty speculative stuff, like the Diageo protection theory and the Comey conspiracy. The missing witness claim is especially murky. There's no solid evidence in the sources to confirm someone vanished. I know, witness number 3 doesn't want to come forward, but that doesn't mean she's vanished. The AI seems to be amplifying the drama, maybe to hook viewers, which is why it feels like a true crime thriller. It's engaging, but we can't take it all at face value. My big takeaway, the Diddy trial is exposing some dark stuff, but we need to stick to the facts and keep digging for the truth. What did you think of this video? Did the AI spin make it more compelling or too over the top? Let me keep the conversation going in the comments. The video's AI-generated nature likely explains the sensational tone and speculative leaps like the unverified missing witness or the heavy-handed Epstein parallels. AI can pull from real data like trial reports, but often exaggerates or blends in unconfirmed rumors to maximize impact, which is evident in the dramatic phrasing or in unproven connections. For instance, Diageo as a shield. This makes it compelling for a reaction video, but requires viewers to approach it with skepticism. Did the vibe of this video make it more exciting or less trustworthy for you? What's the one thing you want to know most about the Diddy case? Let's keep talking. I'm Mike Santos. See you on the next video.